doing so much for this country and for working people. Thank you.
Joe Hayes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It would be fair to say that taxpayers' money are supposed to be used to support the people of New Zealand with the provision of services that cares for the oranga or the well-being of its population. It would also be fair to say that taxpayers' money should not be used for the purpose of paying a dividend or a cash payment, a set-up cash payment to shareholders. That, Mr Speaker, is reserved for profit-making private businesses, not for organisations that are all about people. Whānau Ora is not a private profit-making business. It never has been, it never will be. It is a great initiative. Yet here I stand today, ashamed that a government agency has allowed this to happen. I'm shocked that the Minister has allowed it to happen again, because in this year's financial annual report, the dividend is to the tune of $988,000. I'm stunned because the very whānau ora providers that work on the smell of an oily rag are denied access to these funds. I'm actually speechless that a government organisation can tell me that commissioning agencies can do with what they like on any surpluses as long as they have made and completed their contractual obligations and/or outcomes. What I want to know, Mr Speaker, is why hasn't the Minister intervened? I think it is quite a cheek when the Minister says on Radio New Zealand that the ability to pay dividends was in the contract and the contract was going to go for 2 years, yet there was no commitment to intervene. It needs to be intervened with by this Minister, and I am really surprised that the Prime Minister has not called the Minister into her office demanding that he fix this now, right now. This also brings to mind the various conflicts of interests. As we know, the Honourable Willie Jackson, who became a minister after the 2017 election, saw his former organisation benefit from dividends paid in the 2017 report and the 2018 report. Yet nothing was said, and he only resigned his trustee role with these authorities in February of this year. It's not good enough, Mr Speaker. I want to know why the Prime Minister hasn't also asked Minister Jackson to come into her office and please explain. I think actually that the most amazing part of the whole Whānau Ora Commissioning Agency rort is that when I asked Te Puni Kōkiri if Whānau Ora is best placed with them, they said yes, it is, because they have all the connections. I think that is a long, long, long bow to draw for that organisation to say that, especially what has been revealed. To me, Mr Speaker, this whole thing smacks of underhanded deceit. Heads need to roll. The heads of those that knew it was wrong, yet let it happen. Heads that had the power to intervene and stood by and have done nothing. Heads who say they are best placed to do this work, yet failed in their duty to keep Whānau Ora safe. And that is the main crux of my speech today, Mr Speaker. I would like to advise the Minister to be careful on what he actually responds to when I ask him the questions, because the whole population is judging. They're standing and they're judging. And I can say that this whole business stinks. It stinks because of an inexperienced minister who is not across his portfolio, let alone the conflicts of his colleagues. I think Minister Henare and Minister Jackson have both let Māori down, the very people that put them into power, into Parliament this year. I want to say that I cannot see how both of those ministers can espouse Whānau Ora when they have both failed in their duties to Māori. It would be safe to say that Ministers Henare and Jackson are both now on notice from this country. I also want to add to my debate today, Mr Speaker. I'm asking the Minister, where is the Whānau Ora review? We have waited all year for this. We were told it was going to be here in November. Then the Te Puni Kōkiri said they had given the draft report to the Minister on the 1st of October. It is nearly at the end of December. We are only a few days away from rising, and we still have not received the whānau order report. There are providers out there that are sitting on the edge of their seats wanting to know whether their contracts are going to be safe, and nothing has come out. I ask the Minister, give us that whānau order report. Thank you.
Jan Logie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's